Hello and welcome. I'm Giselle Koy, your host, broadcasting live from Austin, Texas, and my show tonight is called Ask a Muse. I can just imagine the questions that could bring up. What does a muse do? What is she going to do on that show? Is this a game show? What is this? Well, this is a real show, and it's going to be great fun. It's actually the first time I've done a Muse call-in show. I don't even think there's ever been one that I know of. So this is a maiden voyage, folks, and I'm super excited. Who knows what's going to happen? We'll just call it a great experiment. So first of all, thank you very much for listening, and my wish is that everyone leaves with a special gift of inspiration just for them. That's a true heartfelt wish for everyone listening tonight. Okay, so I hope everyone's comfortable and they've had a chance to sit down in a comfortable chair and begin to relax their body, because these radio shows are for you to sit back and just receive. You've done a lot in your day and in your week, and it's just a nice time to just give yourself the gift of listening and receiving. And so that's what they're designed for. So I hope you're comfortable and just ready to just enjoy yourself. Okay, so before we get started, let me tell you about how I came upon this line of work. A little bit of background real quick. I've actually been a professional muse for about 5 years now, meaning I work as a consultant, a coach, a creative guide for people like light workers, CEOs, musicians, regular people, anyone looking to find their edge or their next or their shiniest version of themselves. I'm also a writer. I like to write about my life experiences, and one of my books is called The Modern Muse, and it's all about what I've discovered while working as a muse and some tools that I've gathered along the way that really work. So if you don't have this book, I highly recommend it, of course. It's available on Amazon, and it works like a tarot book, meaning you don't have to read it from cover to cover. You can actually just pick it up and have a question and open to a page of inspiration. Also, you can use it to, I actually go back and look at some of the tools that are listed in there. There's some amazing tools that seem to work every time, like the grunt test, which, oh my God, everyone laughs when you say it, but it works really well. And it is one of those things that can get you to your truth quicker than anything. So take a look on Amazon, and if it calls to you, and if you don't have the book, I do recommend it. Okay, so what is a muse? Let's just start basically right there. There may be some people listening that don't even know what that is. Well, in mythological times, a muse was something outside of yourself, meaning it was a spirit or this statue in a long gown or this creature that would come and imbue the great thinkers, the creators, the philosophers with divine inspiration, as if she would whisper in their ear all the great ideas they needed. So if they weren't creating, meaning if they didn't have good ideas, they could always blame the muse and say, well, my muse didn't visit me. So it's kind of really convenient sometimes to have a muse. But today, we all have access to finding that inspiration within ourselves. Sometimes, however, we need a little help accessing it. And that's where we all come in to help muse each other, inspire each other in all kinds of different ways. So mythologically, the muse came from outside, but these days, it's about finding the muse within. It's about finding that state of mind that somehow inspires us to design our most creative life. We all want to be living our most creative life. So there's a show on TV. I don't watch TV, but there is one at the gym, and there's a show on TV called The Millionaire Matchmaker. You might have seen it. And there's a woman on there named Patty. Don't know her last name, but Patty's a matchmaker. In fact, she's actually a real matchmaker. Her mother was one, and her grandmother was one also. And she has the actual gift for matchmaking. It's a gene. Well, the same goes with being a muse. I have the gene, and I'm sure that many of you do too. In fact, I know for a fact that several of you on this call have the same gene. It may not be your destiny work, meaning you're not going to run out and become a muse tomorrow, but it's just something you carry, and you know that you inspire people, and you can do that for people. You can look at someone and say, hey, I got a great idea for you. What if you try this or that? And, maybe it is your destiny, and maybe this show tonight will activate your creativity in this way. How did I know I was a muse? How does one know whether they are or aren't a muse? Okay, so one day I saw a movie, and the movie was called The Muse. Shocker. The Muse with Sharon Stone and Albert Brooks. In fact, I think there's a picture of the movie cover on the radio show slideshow. Anyway, Sharon Stone plays this modern-day muse who lives in L.A., and she's kind of quirky, and you have to totally play by her rules, but she does deliver. She works with the best minds in Hollywood, the directors, the writers, the creators of these huge blockbusters, and she goes and she tells them, she'll just give them one idea that will be the seed that germinates something like the Titanic or whatever. And so I saw this movie, and it was like, oh, my God, lightning just went off in my entire body. It's like, that's what I am. And I just knew it was true because I've been doing it my whole life. I mean, my gift is that I see people in a more evolved state, and I can see a pathway for them to get there. So when I saw that movie, it was very affirming for me, as it is for all of us when we find out we do these things that are not mainstream. We're like, oh, yes, I can do that. And I knew that it would be one of the things I was doing in this life because I was already doing it. I mean, I was one of those people that was always like asked for coffee, like, hey, I had actually more coffee today. Hey, you want to have coffee? I need to talk to you about this idea. Like, you'd be great helping me with this idea. Or, man, I need some inspiration. Oh, I need a coffee with you, just constantly. So I just decided to go ahead and just come out and just say that I was a muse. It was like I was invited to be a muse. So one day I gave myself permission to declare it. Okay, I am one, and I started doing sessions, and I started getting clients right away. And I'm still working with clients. I work with them in different ways. They come and go. Sometimes they get inspired for a year. Sometimes I see them more regularly. It's different for every person. There is no template or format for this work because the creative energy is going to go where it's going to go. So what does a session consist of? Well, it's one-on-one. It's usually about an hour. It can be on the phone or in person. I don't really like Skype because it feels really invasive and it's distracting to look. It's just like this close-up microscope on your face when you're really just bringing energy through, because a lot of times I'm reading your energy to get another layer of meaning. I never know what's going to happen, but I always begin by creating sacred space and calling in etheric protections, bringing in the spiritual hierarchy, and I always ask for the guidance to be for the highest good of all involved. I recommend everyone bring a paper and pencil. And in fact, if you're going to call in tonight, you might want to have a paper and pencil handy, because sometimes the information will come out really fast. Sometimes it'll be like a whole lifetime of work. Sometimes it'll be a week. Sometimes it'll be 3 months. And people, I found that people need time to digest it. It's like, whoa, I did not know that I had a calling to go be a minister and go into seminary. That was just not what I came here to see you about today. And so they may want to go digest some of the ideas for a while. That actually did happen. And I hope he does pursue that. Anyway, so it's all about lining ourselves up with what Spirit wants to bring through, not what our egos desire. And that's a key point. It's like as we all move closer and closer to our unfolding destinies, it's really about helping people and seeing what the hierarchy is bringing through this vessel. I mean, I may have a wish or desire that looks like this or whatever, but really I'm not in alignment unless I'm bringing through what Spirit wants to bring through. So this is the realm I work in, and it's not just about manifesting money or love or a job or a relationship. It's about bringing through what Spirit wants to bring through for all of us. You know, we all want to do what makes us most feel alive, and we want to make those choices for our highest good at all times. So we can cultivate our intuition, we can cultivate listening to guidance, we can cultivate our instincts, and those really precious gut feelings that we have about different situations in our life. The ones that we try to deny, and then later we go, I knew that the whole time. So it's about trusting in those and realizing that those are gold, because they are true divine information. I was talking to a friend today on the phone about his life plans, and he said, I'm just going more with my gut feeling. And I was like, that is so right on. That is so golden. So congratulations on that one. So tonight, if we have time, there's a whole bunch of tools we could talk about that I use with different clients that are helpful. And also, if we have time, we might do a meditation for accessing our original passion blueprint. That's one of the things I'd like to do with people, is to connect them with their original passion blueprint. We all have one. Sometimes it gets really buried, but it is in there. We are all gifted with that. That's like just part of our nature. We all have this little kind of divine jet fuel in us that gets activated by when we're doing what we're here to do. And so when we line up with that, that's when the magic happens. So what comes through in a session? Well, it's kind of like lots of things come through, but I write recipes or inspiration for removing blocks, or it may be a recipe like go see this movie, or change your phone number, or start bringing in these kinds of crystals, or listen to a piece of music. How about a new job, a new creation? It's different with every person. And I also write prescriptions for new spiritual connections. So how to bring more spiritual connection into your life. We all have a different way of connecting with spirit. I mean, some are through nature, some is through direct meditation. We all access the divine so differently. So it's really about dialing in your way, and helping to find a way for you to just like strengthen that connection, make it part of your daily life, and just making it stronger and stronger to where spirit is running your life. So I may recommend working with Ascended Masters. And, in fact, I always invite them into the session. And so I'm just going to take a pause right now and invite them tonight to work with us. So we're just going to bring in all the Ascended Masters that would like to help, and those that would like to work with particular individuals calling or that have sent questions in. And I'm going to see who shows up and invite in Jesus and Mother Mary. I can always feel Mother Mary coming in. Everything just seems to soften up a little bit. She brings that beautiful, loving, kind, comforting, nurturing energy. There is nothing that is not better without Mother Mary's energy. Mary Magdalene and her special magical energy. Saint Germain, Sanat Kumar, the royal eloquence of El Moria, bringing in Hilarion, and his amazing energy and light-bringing qualities. Pallas Athena for her strength, Lady Portia. Sandalphon, Sananda, God, of course. And also bringing in some archangel energy, Archangel Michael, Raphael, Archangel Zuriel, Gabriel, I might have already said him. Of course, Metatron. And sometimes we bring in more of the galactic energy, which is stronger. Sometimes we bring in more of the elemental energy, which are the fairies and the elves and the magic of the forest. So inviting them in now to the show. Thank you. I see Kuan Yin. Beautiful. So they'll be assisting us. I also bring in messages. Sometimes they come from them through me to you. Sometimes when I'm not with a client, this happens a lot, I'll get a piece of information that will float through, like just out of the blue, cosmic message for somebody who was asking a question or something, who wasn't asking a question. I'll make sure I contact them, tell them what that was about. Sometimes it's recipes for oils to be using to increase your frequency. But I like to create pathways for people's next, and everyone has a next. The work I do is largely intuitive, and I like to take things from the most abstract to the real, and sometimes that looks like spiritual branding. Say, for example, there's a healer who's ready to just come out in the world with his healing art, and he doesn't know what to call it or how to frame it or how to sell it or how to promote it or market it. So I call that spiritual branding or creating your storefront, and I love working with people on this to help bring your highest purpose in this reality, and how to name that and how to market that to the world. We all need, it's really hard to do it for ourselves. I mean, even the best of the best need someone to help them, like, oh, yeah, because we cannot see ourselves. It's like the designer doing his own logo, really difficult. Maybe you need a name for what you do, and there isn't a name for what you do. Maybe it comes from a role that you have here on the planet versus a job. So a lot of times our gifts that we have don't fit into an already made position or label, and so we create a new role or a new label. So we're always looking to find the most divine iteration of ourselves, and that's what musing is. I help people write books, run for office, change careers, reinvent themselves, get over a writer's block, start playing music again if they've stopped, create a new product, become a teacher, get published. Just a few examples. So before we move into any tools or any meditations, I think we're going to open it up for the calling. And here's what I've got. I've got some callers on the line that I want to talk to, and also I have a few that have emailed some questions in, so I'll try to get to all of them. And we have time for all of it, so everyone be patient. If you're on the phone and I see the thing is lit up, just hang on the phone and keep listening, and I will get to you. And the call-in number, for those who haven't called in, is 914-338-0450. Okay, so let's see. What else do we need to know before we start the call-in show? Let's see. I think we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And let me just say this also. There are some people who contacted me through email and Facebook saying I'm going to call. They actually had questions, and I suggested that they call in because I can work better with the energy when I hear it, and also it's more fun to do it. And I think it's going to be really exciting to do it live because you know what? You're going to hear something that's going to spark you that's maybe said for someone else. So that's how it works. So when you're talking to me, just pretend like no one else is on the line and we're just having a private phone call, and I'm just going to ask you questions and we'll just see what comes up. So everyone just enjoy themselves. I'm going to take caller number 1. Here we go. Hello? Is someone there? Hello? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes. Were you shocked that I was actually saying hello to you?
No, I had my phone on mute. I'm sorry.
You're my
doing
first caller ever on the show. Hey, hello. Who am I speaking with?
This is James Martinez. How are you?
James. Wonderful. Nice to meet you. Just for everyone on the line, James contacted me. We just spoke. Was it yesterday about being on the show? So welcome,
right.
Welcome. I'm so happy to talk to you. I'm just going to start by. Well, first of all, I already have some information. I'm just getting mystic. Okay, so mystic, and I'm also getting a quote that says, well, why don't we start with you, and then I'll just I'll just flow with what's happening. I know that you wrote a book because we covered that in our communication, and I'd like for you to tell me the name of your book and just kind of tell all of us what it's a little bit about.
Absolutely. Well, the name of the book is called Once Upon a Transcendent Realm. I have been privileged, blessed, if you will, the ability to be in the presence of our Father in heaven, the Creator, and He called me up to to give me some messages about becoming this new person and to being the person that would be a person to help the people to transition from some of the misunderstandings that we're having right now. And he asked me to write for him. He gave me the first line of a book and the last line of the book, and he said we were going to be having some experiences together. And since then, we've published a book and we're moving forward. But we're also writing another book right now. But there's so much spiritually divine, insightful information, and that's kind of where we're at. In our meeting, is I'm looking for some inspiration, some insight, if you will, on direction, and to make your acquaintance and to get your perspective on this as well.
Okay, so first of all, let me just say, whenever I get tears in my eyes, it means we're in direct divine alignment here, and I have lots of tears in my eyes. I can feel your light and your energy, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So blessings, blessings, blessings. The hierarchy is just like yes, yes, yes. They're
That's wonderful.
Just
wonderful.
affirming energy right now. So I got the sense of mystic, and I also got a quote. What's the book? It's a book called After Ecstasy, the Laundry. I think that's a Zen book. And what they're showing me right now is After Enlightenment, the Service. And they mean that for you because they are wanting you to step into your service, and your service is not going to look like anyone else's. You're going to have a unique path to walk. And so you probably contacted me sort of for some spiritual branding or what you want to call it, but you will not walk in anyone else's shoes because you have a unique relationship and you have a unique audience. I believe you came in as a crystalline, like a lot of crystalline energy, so you have was your awakening kind of instantaneous?
It was.
Okay.
I transcended and showed up in heaven, and it all began, a number of years ago. But it's brought us here to this point of understanding, and it's absolutely wonderful experience. Yeah.
A key point is look how that happened. That's the nature of crystalline energy. It's instantaneous like that. It's like when you look into a crystal and you see the multifractal light that just goes everywhere all at once. And so that's kind of part of your frequency is multidimensional, transcendental, and so your teaching can actually be that way. And one of the first things you could do would be to start a group somehow. Start a group and talking to people. And it's kind of like, okay, after the Enlightenment, the Service, the books are great. The book is a good beginning point, and there's going to be more books. But also sharing yourself and your energy is what's up for you next. That's the main thing. And so one of the things is finding a way to work with people. And I think starseeds are kind of your market. I think you have a mixed market and a younger market to talk to. And I don't mean market as far as marketing, but an audience that you could help a lot. And so I'm seeing right now if you were going to work do a radio show, it would be for some of the Starseed radio shows and kind of targeting towards that. And, starting a group, there's so many ways to start a group. It's like I'm not even going to fill in the blanks. Like if you had 4 or 5 people in front of you, where would you be sitting? What would you be talking about? And the thing about it is when you do this, it's not like this thing you have to go rehearse and prepare. It's like, what is the easiest thing that comes to your mind? So maybe for you, it's like, I'm going to sit down and read the first paragraph of my book out loud and see where it goes. Or, exactly what would be the most natural. So your energy is good. It's like how to present it without altering it. That's your challenge.
Right. That's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way. This is a very complex and a very inviting subject at the same time. A lot of people are challenged with understanding, and having it's a great responsibility with dispersing it and giving it and sharing it, and that's really part of the challenge that I face. Is talking to people in that respect, because it's quite a bit of information. So learning how to present it is quite the task.
It's like it's like they want you to really, really simplify. First of all, you have a lot of Jesus energy around you, very strong. And his style of teaching was very gentle, and it was very of the people. Jesus didn't have these, like, super crazy sermons that he memorized. It's like, sit down with 2 or 3 thoughts. And so if you can begin and actually cultivate your speaking career along those lines, that's what's going to serve you.
Right.
You should never put any thought into it before you sit down.
Right.
Yours needs to come hot and fresh out of the oven. Just let him talk through you. Not that you're channeling,
right. That's how
you're just
that's
going
how we do it. Right.
Yeah, just be an open vessel for that. So I hope that helps, and I think we should have another conversation, definitely, because I can see some other things like how to dial that in really tightly. Like you need a name, you need some things, you need some tools, but we can talk about that. And I just want to tell you the applause from heaven is great, and congratulations, and fantastic. I'm happy I know you, James.
Absolutely, Giselle. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and thank you so kindly for your advice and for your words, and I'll keep it very simple and direct.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing it.